Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, man.
Hello.
Numbers are rolling in. So we're going to get started at 9 sharp. All right. Let's give everyone a second to kind of come in. Hannah, I texted you. Are we going to announce t-shirt winner design today?
Yes, at the end of the day, we're going to announce the winner of the t-shirt design contest. So stay
Okay.
tuned until 12 p.m. to find out if your design was chosen.
All right. And then Quinn, do we have any housekeeping presentation that we've given last time or anything? Not really, right?
No, not really.
All right. I'll just kind of briefly talk about it.
Okay, perfect.
While people roll in.
Really quick
Yeah.
before you start, Dr. D'Amico, I just want to share that we're really excited to have you all here. If you have questions for Dr. D'Amico, Quinn, myself, or any of our guest speakers, we ask that you don't post them in the chat. We ask that you use the Q&A function throughout this webinar series because we can record your questions and answer them at a later time if we don't get to address them live. So be sure to use that Q&A function throughout.
Thank you, Hannah. Well, it's 9 o'clock. I think we're going to kick it off. Welcome, everyone, to BRAINterns 2023, number 4, Roman numeral 4. Dave Langer told me he only likes Roman numerals. I want to echo that we are super excited to do this again. And, you know, as most of you know, this is our day job. And so, you know, we're here in the operating room getting ready to operate on cases. This first session will be pretty brief. It'll actually only be about, 20 or 30 minutes or so, kind of an introduction. And it'll be followed up today by the medical students who are going to go through anatomy. They have a really nice lecture that they give. And then around 11 o'clock or so, I should be back to give kind of an update on kind of technology and neuro-oncology. So, I mean, I know we're going to use the Q&A, but I feel like we can use the chat. We sometimes do that also. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, let's enable the chat.
Yeah, rules are for fools. And so, so do whatever you want. But anyway, a few things. So BRAINterns, let's talk a little bit about the history of this. And so this is something that's become super important to Lenox Hill. It started in the summer of COVID. So I guess, 2019, 2020. And basically we realized that there wasn't a place for students during that time period when everyone went virtual to get exposure to the medical profession. And so Dave Langer, John Bookfar, the Lenox Hill group started this virtual online shadowing program. And it was kind of right at the same time that the original Netflix series came out. And we were incredibly fortunate enough to get 16,000 participants our first summer, which is an unreal number. And we looked at that data and it turned out that it was about 84 countries, I think, the first year. But what was remarkable was of the participants, about 80% of them were women. And a vast majority actually representing really diverse minority groups, not just what you typically think of when you think of medicine in the US. And we realized we were kind of onto something. Those numbers, just so you guys know, are incredible. I mean, that's more than a med school gets, right? More than most colleges get, kind of thing. It's a big number. And so we did it again the second year. And the second year, remarkably, even though people were, much more in person than they were previously, we had another 16,000 kids sign up. And I use the word kids loosely, meaning anyone younger than I am. And when we looked at that even closer, it looked like 60% of those were new people. So it wasn't really the same people coming back. It was another 16,000 kids, or whatever 60% of that would be, which was, similarly remarkable and similarly diverse. Again, about 80% women. That time we hit about 104 countries instead of just 84 countries. So we had expanded. And we published all this data, and it's out there and published literature if you want to read about it. Really diverse socioeconomic backgrounds, and as well as just social, ethnic, racial backgrounds. And that's something that we realized was so important because all of a sudden we were now able to basically help people out who didn't have the access that everyone else does. And so we've run with that basically over the past 3 years. Our third year with more people back fully in person, our enrollment dipped a little bit, just a couple thousand, which is still pretty remarkable. And this year as well, a couple thousand. We're so incredibly fortunate and happy about this. We've tailored it to people who are going through a more in-person experience locally, and so we're only doing 2 weeks. It's a couple hours a day for 2 weeks. All lectures, aside from being given live, which are fun because then it's interactive, the lectures are also recorded and available for what we call asynchronous learning, meaning that, on your own time, let's say you have a day job, you want to watch this later, you can. And so, oh look, we're getting cameos. Here's Justin Silverstein. He'll be chatting with you guys later this week. Jen Rath is over there giving me side eye. But anyway, we're hopefully going to provide you guys a really educational experience, a really positive experience. As always, we're incredibly accessible. You guys are going to get access to, the Facebook group, which allows you to chat with us or our representatives. You can always find us on social media, where we have a pretty active presence. And hopefully everyone has a great time, and I hope everyone's enjoying their summer. A few housekeeping things that, unfortunately we have to remind people of. Now, we're a professional group. We keep it loose. We definitely ride fast and loose with what we do. But this is a professional group, and you guys are going to be professionals, hopefully. And so we have to stress really that we'll leave the chat function on. Everyone's allowed to communicate with each other, but this is not a place, for fighting. This is not a place for kind of, bad comments. Those people will be identified and removed if it happens. Please keep it professional. The utmost respect for everyone. And I encourage participation. I encourage questions. There's no stupid question. And sometimes I give stupid answers, but only if it's unnecessary to give a more in-depth one. And so please keep it kind, keep it professional. That's why we're here. And that's why we want it to be run this way. Secondly, please feel free to share this, just because enrollment, already happened and we're on our first day. Since everything's recorded, we can still spread the knowledge and spread the word. And so please share it with people and encourage people to sign in frequently. And so, Quinn, actually, do you want to pull up the schedule? Maybe we can talk about kind of what we're going to get into over the next 2 weeks.
Yes, definitely. Also, just one thing that you said, all the Zooms will be on the YouTube. So every day we'll upload them there.
All right, excellent. All right, we already got 10 Q&As. So while you pull up the schedule, I'm going to look at some Q&A. Can you turn on the chat button? We're working on it. It won't let me type in the chat. We're still working on it.
I lied. I'm so sorry. I thought it was enabled. So for now, if you have any comments, just post them in the Q&A and I will post them in the chat.
Great. A few things. So where can we access the recorded lectures online? I believe Quinn just answered this, but Quinn, at the end, maybe you could mention it again. And then in the chat, if we can, once it's up and running, put the Facebook link in. Some people say they can't see video. That's I see video. Does everyone else see video? All right. We're about to go over the topics we're going to discuss. And yeah, we can actually upload a schedule. Quinn, can you upload a schedule to either the Facebook group or the website at some point today?
Yes, I will do that.
Perfect. We still get credit for attendance if we watch those sessions. So credit for attendance is an interesting question. In general, we call this obviously a virtual internship. Whether or not it actually counts for, credit is really up to your local institution. And so, yes, you can absolutely get credit if you watch asynchronously. What I recommend you do, the credit is based on basically filling out the survey at the end of the course. And so as long as you respond to the survey and we can, validate that you've been in lectures, then we can absolutely give you credit. We've already talked about that.
Can you guys see my shared screen or not yet? Oh, yeah.
Seeing video. How does one build dexterity over time as an aspiring surgeon? Hands are shaky. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about this. Hopefully what you guys are going to see is that surgery is probably, the physical performance of surgery. Although, look, there are definitely athletes out there. It's probably the least important thing. This is a decision-making question. Neurosurgery is how do you plan the right procedure? How do you make sure that you prepped enough in order to perform the surgery safely? Otherwise, we have a lot of tools. With a microscope, your manual dexterity can get better. You can see more clearly. Movements are easier. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Other people talking about videos. Man, I'm going through these questions. Quinn, do you have that screen up? I'm gonna dip
Yeah,
on.
let me pull it up again. I just had it up. Okay.
All right. Someone said they
Everyone
never
see it?
received their certificate last year. You will get one this year as long as you complete the survey and you can. I'm a little bit worried about that. You should reach out again, either on Instagram or Facebook Messenger or whatnot. All right, hold on. I'm closing so I can see. All right, let's talk about today. So today's kind of the intro. Obviously, we're in the middle of that. I talked about the med students and I talked about me being back later. Tomorrow we have our annual Women in Medicine panel discussion. And this is a great discussion, especially with how many women participants we have in this. Hearing from women neurosurgeons who have gone through the course of their journey, it's truly remarkable. And we'll talk more about this tomorrow. It's always a fantastic panel discussion. The Spine Virtual OR will be with Dr. Razzulli tomorrow, taking us through some cases and real actual practical medicine. Global Pathways to Medicine. This is one of my favorite talks because, as we talk about 104 countries, not everyone has the same pathway that the US has. And so we have some of our finest and brightest tell you how they ended up here, where are they coming from, and how they end up, doing medicine with us or doing neurosurgery. So I think an informative chat. On Wednesday, we start off with the medical school. The first one will actually be an introduction to radiology with a little focus on neuroradiology. And the second med school talk will be the usual, how do you apply to med school, which I always find informative also. These things change year to year, and it's good to always hear from the med school themselves what they're looking for and how this is going. The cerebrovascular OR, that'll happen twice, and that's a great lecture talking about vascular anomalies, aneurysms, AVMs, things like that, and how we treat them both open surgically and endovascularly. Dr. Ben Shalom is going to return and talk about neuroplastics. This is a new field in neurosurgery. Lennox is actually the first department in New York City and New York State, really, to have a department dedicated to this. Doing incredible work with, cosmetics, and aesthetics, but also implantable neurotechnologies. It's more than just plastic surgery. I'll be back on Thursday to talk about, innovations in neuro-oncology, both from a research standpoint and from a technical standpoint. And Dr. Rogers will give us a pediatric neurosurgery breakdown. We're working on Devin. Devin is a new resident. She's an intern now. And what I'd love for her to talk about is the progression from being a student to being a neurosurgeon. This is something that's, I think, emotional and important for her as she starts kind of this journey, but also fresh. So really good advice to people who are going through it right now. Fridays, we're going to be back with Dave Langer doing the routine chairman's corner, which, is always expect special guests and unique conversation. And so always a fantastic time. And so let me go back to the Q&A real quick. I think next week, is there any other surprises there, Quinn? Everything pretty much rehashes. It's about 2 lectures on each topic. And again, we're going to try to make it virtual and have a really good time. All right, I'm back in the Q&A looking at some other things that we're talking about. Man, we got people here for 4 years. We thank you so much. Please spread the word. And a lot of people saying their credit never came. Well, just reach out. Let's see.
You can email I'll put the email in the chat, but
Yeah.
you can email if you didn't get yours.
Honestly, it's probably a little late being a year out, and so we'll review and see what we can do. But it's this year you'll get one. All right, hold on. I'm finishing the Q&A. I'm going back to the chat now. I think the chat is mostly people saying hello, huh? Oh, Iran. We got Wisconsin. We got New Jersey. Very, very foreign. Multiple New Jerseys. We got Puerto Rico. Awesome. That's what we like to see. So, again, this is kind of the introduction and group. And I think, the next step in the introduction, after going through kind of what the schedule is going to be, a little bit of housekeeping in terms of, our rules of professionalism, is just discussing, what Lenox Hill is. And so Lenox Hill was started, about 9 or 10 years ago now, really by Dave Langer. It was a hospital that was here. He started the neurosurgery department here and just kind of had, a vision of doing things a little bit different, a little bit more disruptive than what had been done previously. And so, he hired some colleagues and they built this program in about 9 or 10 years that's that's really become a top-rated program in the country, and in the world for that matter. And I think the most important thing to recognize is, we kind of pride ourselves on really being at the cutting edge of technology, and there's a little pun in there. But adopting new technologies quickly and safely, and making sure that we are the most technologically advanced kind of department, definitely in New York City, but probably in the country, with what we do, and really just caring about patient outcomes more than anything, not just doing the cool stuff, right? Because at the end of the day, neurosurgery is about patient care. And so right now behind me, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it's the OR staff taking an X-ray right now to localize a spine tumor. And so, we're actively doing this stuff while we're talking to you guys. And hopefully we'll get great videos that we can show you guys, both from these cases and the cases we've done in the past. There is a treasure trove of previous lectures already on YouTube. You can feel free to go dive into there and look around. And obviously I don't need to plug it, but there's a TV show about all this that you can watch. All right, I'm looking. We've got France, Oklahoma, Greece, Egypt, Morocco, Spain, Australia, Turkey, Rwanda. Wow. Fantastic. All right. And then Hannah, let's discuss the t-shirt contest real quick.
Sorry, I had to commute from just a classic New York commute this morning. The trains got messed up, so I'm just outside. But yes, we will announce the winner of the t-shirt design contest at the end of the day, after Dr. D'Amico's talk about the latest in neuro-oncology and surgical techniques after our virtual OR. So please tune in, and we'll announce that right at 12 o'clock p.m.
Excellent. And then just notably, that will get sent to a site that processes them. And so they should be delivered probably within a few weeks after this all ends. And we'll have one t-shirt design this year. And
what's great about our bonfire site, so all of the proceeds from these t-shirts go towards our Zoom licensure and other costs that come with our free educational programming. So in buying the t-shirts, you are supporting future BRAINterns. So we thank you in advance for your support of the program.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, so I mean, that's basically kind of the intro for today. Quinn, I'm not sure if there's anything else you want to run over or not. I think we can take a little half-hour break. We want to welcome everyone again. Really can't emphasize enough how special this is and important it is. And we'll see everyone at 10 for the med student lecture on anatomy.
Yeah, just the only other thing that I'll say is that I'll post the schedule in the Facebook and Slack. And once I can text to everyone, I'll put the Slack link in the chat, and I'll put the Facebook so you can join the Facebook.
All right, perfect. All right, everyone, I'm going to sign off. They need me to do stuff. So I'll see you guys at the next one. All right. Bye.
Thanks, Dr. D'Amico. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.